Hello. This is the ABAP GameCast, the very first episode. As you can see, I am of limited means, and future episodes will hopefully feature my buddies Jim and Andy. We just have different schedules, different time zones. It's hard to get the stars to align, but someday. And we have some things that we've discussed that we'd like to have a show focused on, something like Resident Evil, just a whole show dedicated to Resident Evil. Each episode, we'll just be talking about the games that we've been playing, and it should be fun. The conversation should be fun because we all play completely different types of games. Like Andy has a homemade arcade cabinet at home, and he does a lot of Street Fighter Championship Edition, but he is really up to speed with like the arcade scene. So that'd be cool, to hear his thoughts and stuff like that, because that's a whole aspect of gaming that I am just completely clueless about for the most part. Jim streams. You can find his channel JDeke, Deke, JDeke. He loves just like, you know, no bullshit, straight to the point, like action games. And he plays all kinds of stuff, and I shouldn't be speaking for him. But if you like 1cc runs, if you like old school NES difficult games, if you like people, who go out of their way to get the platinums, you should definitely check out Jim. He doesn't stream on a regular basis, but he is a very, very entertaining video game player to watch, because his streams are exciting because he's doing challenging things, and he always succeeds. Like if he sets out to do something in a game, he's gonna do it. And I have his Final Fight 1cc run and his Punisher 1cc run on the YouTube channel, so you could check those out. Those are fun streams. But the reason I am doing this solo show without my two buddies is because I've been playing some games, and I really want to get my thoughts out on them, because I'm already behind the curve a few months, but um, I just want to get my thoughts out about these games, really. Like, some people love them, some people have been a little harsh on them. They've all found their audience, and their audience will grow as the game goes on sale or gets added to Game Pass or PS Plus, stuff like that. But the games in particular are Outcast: A New Beginning, Rise of the Ronin, and Alone in the Dark. And I'll also talk a little bit about Sandland, but I don't have any footage for that because I'm still in the thick of it. I'm probably about halfway done based on what the PS5 says. To kick things off, though, I'll just go right into Outcast. I got some footage edited with some music from the game that I really enjoy, and I'll add some commentary, but I'll let the footage speak for itself. So in Outcast, you play as Cutter Slade. This is a sequel to I think the 1999 PC game called Outcast. I am not familiar with the first game. I actually bought it on GOG, well over a decade ago, just because it looks so quirky. Never got around to playing it, and the original developers had planned a sequel on PS2, but the publisher went under, so they just couldn't finish the game. They did a remake of the first Outcast, and that released, I don't know, maybe like a decade ago at this point. That's called Outcast Second Contact. and that is actually a free game on PS Plus if you have like the middle tier or above. So you check it out there. But this is Outcast: A New Beginning, and it's published by THQ Nordic. It is very old school in its approach to the gameplay loop. You have a rocket pack, and you go around and you do these little platforming. Like, I wouldn't even call them side quests. It's just a way to get upgrade materials and stuff like that. But they are incredibly fun to do. And you basically go around and help 7 different villages on the planet Adelpha. You're like the chosen one to help save this planet because humans have invaded and are stealing resources. But yeah, you just have this whole world at your disposal. Nothing is really blocked off to you. Like once you get past like the first hour and a half, you're pretty much free to do whatever you want. And I spent most of my like first 30 hours in the game just doing all the side stuff, like destroying these bases, doing the little platforming and gliding objectives. It was just a lot of fun. And as you're doing that, you're getting different modules for your gun, because all you have is a handgun and a rifle. But you can get all kinds of things. Like you can see when I fire, it's like a spread from Contra. That's on my handgun. You get these electrical orbs that fire out, and like some of the one of the modules will cause bullets to just like track enemies, and there's a lot of variety in how you want to have your gun build. And I adjusted it maybe 3 or 4 times as I played, and I eventually found a combo between the 2 guns where I would just cut through everything like butter. Like nothing could stand in my way. But this game is also not very difficult in the slightest. I honestly didn't die a single time in it. What is today? Monday? Yeah, I platinumed the game yesterday. And I just had so much fun playing it. It was just such a fun, chill game. Like the music is good. Just gave me like a Steven Spielberg vibe. And the main character, Cutter Slade, he reminds me of a 1980s Mel Gibson without the booze. Something like Lethal Weapon. Flawed character, but he's got his heart in the right place. It just gave me like 1980s action protagonist vibes, and I just had so much fun with the game. The gunplay and just running around and jumping around and platforming, it reminded me a lot of like my favorite aspects of something like Ratchet and Clank. And honestly, like that may seem like what, but if you play this game for a few hours, you'll totally see where I'm coming from. Like the game honestly feels designed to just like the developers just want you to have fun. They don't want you to get like hung up on stuff. It's got what I describe as like horse physics. My buddy described it as like spastic jumping, but if there's like a sliver of a ledge, like you can stand on it, like the game is not stingy whatsoever with what you can get on. And I really appreciate that, because there's a lot of games where you can only interact with painted objects, and I'm not even opposed to developers adding markers, to help guide the player. I think games need that. But I have played some games where like the only stuff you can climb, and it's like an action adventure game. The only stuff you can climb is the stuff that's painted. And like, I don't know, when I play a game and you can jump in it and platform, like I want to go anywhere I can. But yeah, I really can't say enough good things about this game. I spoke so long the video stopped. get back here. But yeah, like I really can't say enough good things about the game. I just had so much fun playing it, and I'll definitely go back and play through it again because yeah, it was just a blast. Right, next on the docket is Rise of the Ronin. I feel like this game is kind of controversial, which really is a shame. Like I won't dive into some of the negatives that people have gone over, but all I can say is I bought this game out of morbid curiosity and because it had been far too long since I played a Team Ninja game, and I was like, I'm gonna go for it. I get strangely interested in games if they're getting dogpiled, especially if it's from a developer that I like, or if the game itself looks fun. If something's getting dogpiled, like my spidey sense goes off, and I'm like, I gotta find out for myself. I gotta find out for myself. And especially if it looks like something I might enjoy, I'll just get it at launch, full price for the hell of it, just to find out and just to be someone giving a different perspective on it. At least if I enjoy the game. If I don't enjoy the game, it's just like whatever. But what I have here, because I actually, well, I do have plenty of gameplay footage of Ronin because I streamed it for like well over 10 hours at launch. But I didn't feel like going through and dissecting good clips. But what I did do, I had 50 photos saved from the photo mode. And this is like, there's no filters on it. This is just, you know, go into photo mode in the game. Of course you can adjust the camera angle, so I did that. But as far as the lighting and the colors and everything, like this is how the game looks. And one thing I will say, a lot of people when they talk about Ronin, they talk about like how bad it looks. That it looks like a PS3 game. That there's pop in and this and that. And um, like yes, there's pop in at like a great distance away, but this the art style in this game is fantastic, and the lighting and the expressions on the characters' faces and all the animations during combat, like, oh, this game looks amazing. So what I have here is just a photo collage with some of the music playing over it. I had to mute myself there for a minute because the little wiener dogs upstairs, my two boys, Xander and Oliver, holy smokes, they just started going wild. I don't know what that was all about. But Rise of the Ronin, oh my gosh, this game. What can I say about this game? Holy smokes. It's so good. This is hands down, without question, my game of the year so far for 2024. Like nothing comes close. And this game is a trip because like the open world is nothing special. But it doesn't bog you down with, like all these like checklists and stuff. Like this game to me at its core is like a new type of JRPG. Like, it has all these gameplay elements that we've seen before, but I feel like we've never seen it from a Japanese studio. And like, the upgrade system is incredibly deep. It's got so many weapons. I'm pretty sure it has 9 different types of weapons. There's multiple stances for each weapon. You get 2 sub weapons. You get all kinds of charms. Like, you get add extra perks if you have like the same, or you get extra perks if you have a set of armor. And then you can transfer perks between armors. You can upgrade weapons. It's crazy. You can upgrade anything in the game. The game is massive. It is too big for its own good. And when I talk about this game, I usually say that like this game is one of the few examples I can think of where a game jumped the shark, like evil freaking Knievel trying to jump the Grand Canyon with his motorcycle. But in this case, they land it. Like, they completely stick the landing, in my opinion. And it's insane. Like, this game is huge. And the more you play it, the more you realize how much TLC they put into it. Because I was probably 30 hours into the game, and then I really started exploring the menus, and it's just like, holy smokes, like, everything is streamlined, like, to get you to where you need to be, considering how big the game is. It's like, the game is huge, and it's going to take you dozens of hours to finish. But Team Ninja really went the extra mile and made it so if you want to access an area, like if you want to fast travel somewhere, if you want to know where your specific friend is because you want to give them a gift, you can find all of it in the menus. And that may sound dumb, like, well, of course it would be in there, but only until you play this game and you see how big it is, and how many characters there are, do you realize like how thoughtful it is for Team Ninja to put that in there. Because I have 100 hours in the game. Like, I could finish it whenever I want. I just have to focus on like the main missions now, because pretty much all the side content is done. It's just one of those games where I honestly don't really want to see it end. So I've been kind of putting it off, and I've been playing Sandland, and I finished up Outcast. But I need to get back to Ronin and see it through, because it is such a good game. And every time I play it, I kind of get worried, like, is this still going to be as fun as it has been? Every time it is, like, without question. Like, once I get into it, start getting in the flow of combat, it's just like, man, like, this game is really good. I don't expect everyone like to enjoy it as much as I do, and that's because of how big it is. Like, for real, I can't like stress it enough, like how much content is in this game, and it's really crazy. Like, no microtransactions, no DLC, just a big as shit game, in every sense of the word, that is absolutely worth full asking price. I don't know if it's been on sale. Buy it for $70, wait for a sale, wait for GameCast, but like, you gotta try this game, and don't let the beginning fool you. Like, this game really opens up, and in terms of the difficulty, this game's not that difficult. Once you get the systems down, and once you see how many advantages you have at your disposal. Start the video over. I really can't say enough good things about this game. It's like Diablo meets Ninja Gaiden meets Mass Effect, and this game is serious when it comes to the choices you make and how it affects the path of the story. I've put 100 hours into it. I've just been living by the decisions I've made. Some I've come to regret, but it's like, I'm gonna see it through. And relatively early on, relatively early in the grand scheme of things, you get this thing called the Testament of the Soul, and you can go back to like any major decision you want and play it again to see how the other story avenues play out. But I haven't done that, so I will do it, once I'm done with the current story progression that I have. But that'll just add probably another 50 hours onto it. Like, you could easily get 200 hours worth of fresh content out of this game. It's crazy how big it is. And then as far as Sandland goes, like I mentioned, I don't have any footage for that. But I am enjoying that game. I'm not enjoying it as much as I am Ronin or Outcast. Ronin and Outcast have been two of the most pleasant surprises I've had in gaming in a long time, especially with open world games, because I generally do not like open world games. I just find them kind of boring. It's not really my thing. But yeah, Ronin and Outcast just really hit. And Sandland is hitting too in a way, but for different reasons. As much as I enjoy the story in Ronin and in Outcast, Sandland is just it. The story is delivered in like a Saturday morning cartoon type way. It's really fun to see these characters on their adventure. See the camaraderie grow. The villains are goofy. It just has such a vibrant art style, and that's what keeps me engaged with it the most. The vehicle combat is fun. Going around and exploring, that's okay. Because there's really not a ton to do. Like, the gameplay loop isn't bad, but exploration, it definitely rewards you, but like exploration's really not that fun. Like, there is platforming in it, but the jumping doesn't feel fantastic. Like the hand-to-hand combat, that's fun, but it's relatively mindless. The vehicle combat is fun, but that's also kind of mindless. It's not really doing anything amazingly well, but it's just a really like smooth, polished package, and it, above all else, it's fun. So while I'm not really, like going out of my way to sing its praises right now, I do really enjoy it. I just have a hard time raving about it like I can Ronin and Outcast. But yeah, Sandland's fun, and once I do finish it, I'll actually get some footage and expand on my thoughts. Maybe I'll end up loving it. Maybe the game will introduce something that will really grab me. But for the most part, I feel like I've seen what the game has to offer besides like the really outrageous vehicle stuff that you get in the end game. All right, in the last game I wanted to talk about, Alone in the Dark.
All done.
Yeah, it's a shame. If you didn't know, if you didn't hear the news from a few weeks ago, PC's Interactive, they were shut down by Embracer, and Embracer owns a ton of publishers, and THQ Nordic is one of them, and PCs Interactive was under the THQ umbrella. And I really hand it to THQ. They delayed this game twice. It was supposed to come out October 2023, but there were some big games that they didn't want to compete with. Then it was supposed to come out, I think, in December, but they didn't want to have the studio experience crunch during the holidays, so then they delayed it a second time to March 2024. And honestly, it's a really good thing they did delay it twice, because the game had some nasty bugs at launch. Thankfully I didn't experience any, but people were getting their saves corrupted. People were getting like nasty audio bugs that like wouldn't go away. You'd get stuck in geometry, so like I'm not quite sure what was going on there, and how much worse it would have been had it released 5 months earlier in freaking October. But to PC's credit, they got patches out relatively quickly, and then they even went a step further and introduced a photo mode, and I think there's a photo mode, but photo mode, new game plus, alternate intro, all kinds of stuff. And this game really, really exceeded my expectations. I was hyped on it. Alone in the Dark, it's got a pretty rough track record, but I've always been a fan of it. Even Alone in the Dark Inferno on the PS3. I've never played the 360 or the PS2 or Wii version, but Inferno on the PS3 is awesome. That is an awesome game, and that's a game that jumped the shark and did not stick the landing, but they landed it. It was just a rough landing, and once you understand how that game plays, how that game mechanics work, how to address the weird jankiness of it, like that game is really impressive. It does a lot of things that other games don't do and have never done. And this game, Eden, I think it was Eden Interactive, maybe, they really went for it, and didn't quite get there, but I love that game. I've always been a big fan of it. And this reboot, I love this game. I still play it. I play it on the Portal, in bed, and on the TV. It's just a super cozy survival horror game. It's got a great doom jazz soundtrack.
Looks like
The story will just make you scratch your head. It is hard to follow, and you really have to give it some thought. You really have to cross-reference the notes, really investigate things, explore your surroundings if you really want to get a firm grasp on the story. And I haven't watched any YouTube videos, like story explainers, because I'm still not quite sure of everything in the game. Like, I have my own theories, and once I feel like I've gotten everything I can get out of the game, I will I'll go to YouTube and see what others are saying about it. But yeah, this is a great game. It's like it's not trying to punch above its weight class. It's just trying to be a solid survival horror experience. Like it's a double A experience, and I don't know. I really enjoyed it. Of course, Resident Evil is better, but I mean, come on, you can't compare PCs or pieces. I always say PCs, but you can't really compare them directly to Capcom. Alone in the Dark lifted a lot from Resident Evil 2 remake and Resident Evil 3 remake with the dodge and stuff, but this game is really impressive. When you look at what Pieces has done in the past, it was just isometric PC adventure games or mobile games. They'd never made anything remotely close to this. So the fact that they really went for it and did it in such a good fashion, I give them immense credit for that. and I'll always be a fan of this game. I actually bought 3 copies of it. I got the digital deluxe edition, pre-ordered that, and then once I, as I was playing it and I was enjoying it so much, I bought a physical copy for my buddy Jim for his birthday because I thought he might like it. We became friends like through playing survival horror games. Um, so I got it for him, and then I bought a second copy for myself, but so I could lend it out, to my brother who lives in town or anyone else with a PS5 and wants to play it really. But uh, really enjoy Alone in the Dark, and it's such a shame that all these studios are closing and that Pieces was closed because they showed so much promise with this game, and we'll never get a sequel from them. And that's honestly, it's just a damn shame because this game and this studio, this franchise, like it had the potential to take it to the next level with a sequel. Like I'm sure all of development time they were just trying to wrap their heads around how to make a game like this. So taking all that experience and knowledge that they have and moving forward with something, I mean, I'm sure it would have addressed all the problems that people had with combat. Even though I think combat's good, it is kind of rough, but once you get a feel for it and learn to work with the mechanics, it's fine. Like the game is pretty damn easy. Honestly, like you can't just roll through everything. You have to play smart. But I mean, if you can play through Resident Evil 2 remake, no problem. Like this game will be a cakewalk for the most part for you. But yeah, definitely check out Alone in the Dark if you are a fan of survival horror. It's going on sale a lot. I think physical copies are like $30 on Amazon now. But yeah, you really owe it to yourself to see what this small studio created with their like first big game, and it's a shame that we won't ever get a sequel. All right, well, if you've made it this far, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully the next episode will have the three of us. We'll each be discussing different games, of course, but like I said at the beginning, I really wanted to get this out there. Even though all these games have come and gone for the most part, I just wanted to get my 2 cents out there on YouTube. And yeah, these games I just really enjoy, and I just wanted to like get that love, get that enthusiasm out there. And the last thing, this is just like a little pieces memorial I threw together, and it's by no means anything special. It's just the like the thanks for playing with us image on their website when they were closed, mixed with a song from Alone of the Dead, and the song is called "Mourning the Dead," and I mean, it's sad for me to listen to now, like knowing that Pieces was closed, but the song is just so damn good, and I feel like it just really captures the overall vibe of the game. And in my opinion, this song right here stands toe to toe with like the best kind of save room music in the Resident Evil series. We're talking Resident Evil 1, Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 0, Code Veronica. Like those 4 games right there have like the best save room music in Resident Evil. And in my opinion, Mourning the Dead from Alone in the Dark stands toe to toe with them. So thanks again for watching. Take care. Go play some games and tell your friends how much you like them. Spread the word for awesome video games. Take care.